We're here to celebrate a policy that benefits every American senior all across this land, and it's called No Tax on Social Security. It's done. It's done.
President Donald Trump paying a visit to Central Florida today, speaking before a large crowd of supporters and seniors in the Villages.
The commander-in-chief arrived on Air Force One about 3 o'clock at the Ocala International Airport. You see him here, and once he got off the plane, he then headed to the Villages.
His supporters waited for hours for him to arrive. This is exclusive video from Chopper 2 showing people lined up this morning to get inside the Villages Charter School in Sumterville.
And this is a look at the president as he arrived inside that school, greeted by his supporters in anticipation of his remarks.
West 2 has been bringing you coverage since sunrise, and tonight we have live team coverage of the presidential visit with West 2's Michelle Imparato, Justin Shecker, and Pamela Cohn.
We want to start with West 2 anchor Michelle Imparato live outside the Villages Charter School tonight. And Michelle, this is really the first rally for the president since that security breach at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
It is, Lindsay, and there was plenty of security here in the Villages today. We've been out here since early this afternoon, and we saw a lot of law enforcement from different agencies walking around, making sure things were secure. There were lots of agents over by the high school, which is directly behind me. And as you said, a lot of people came out here this morning. We're talking thousands. They were lined up to the right and to the left of the school, and there are these blockades that are in front of the school that were keeping people even away from the entrance. So if you didn't have that RSVP or the QR code, you couldn't even get past those blockades. Now, if you were on our channel just a little while ago, you saw the president's speech. It was a little over an hour and a half, and he did cover a lot of ground. He talked about a lot of topics that his voters wanted to hear about, some of the hot topics that they like hearing him speak about. One is that the no tax on tips, the no tax on seniors, which we were expecting him to talk about. He also talked about tax cuts for seniors, and he talked about reducing prescription drug prices. And one thing that he said that really got a loud cheer from the audience was starting July 1st, Medicare coverage for weight loss medications will be $50 a month. So those are those GLP-1s that people are taking, and the crowd really did like to hear that. So he said starting July 1st, they'll be $50 a month. He talked about removing illegal immigrants from the Social Security roll. He also said there's going to be over $200 million dedicated for rural health care here in Florida. Now, of course, he briefly talked about the midterms and the war in Iran. He said oil and gas prices will come down when the war is over. He also mentioned that he's going to be launching TrumpIRA.gov so people can sign up for retirement plans. But overall, it was a pretty good day for the president here. A lot of his voters showed up to hear him speak. It was a packed room. But we do want to get to West 2's Justin Shecker. He's continuing our live team coverage from inside the school gymnasium where the president delivered his speech. And Justin, can you talk a little bit more about the focus today and who else we heard from during his speech or before his speech?
Yeah, hey there, Michelle. This speech was certainly geared toward the many seniors and retirees here in this packed gymnasium. They're tearing down the stage right now. We can see this was the slogan behind the podium, "Golden Age for your golden years." Now, President Trump walked on stage after 4 p.m. to Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA. He soaked in every second of the song before giving what felt like a campaign speech. President Trump spent much of the speech talking about tax cuts for seniors in his One Big Beautiful Bill. At one point, the 79-year-old president even joked about his own age. President Trump opened his remarks by referencing the gunman whose Secret Service stopped from storming the ballroom at last Saturday's White House Correspondents' Dinner.
I shouldn't be here. There was just an attempt, I won't use the word, an attempt, they say, on my life. I should be indoors at a secure facility where I can quietly, beautifully, and safely play out my term, destroying everything that comes in our way, like bad countries that want to get nuclear weapons. We'll take care of that. So they want me to be in a secure place. I said, what's more secure than the Villages?
And there were some surprise guests during the president's speech. We saw both Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz. Now, President Trump also gave a shout out to Congressman Byron Donalds, saying he's going to make a great governor. Now, again, we weren't sure how much he would touch on the foreign policy issue, but Michelle, when he talked about preventing, quote, the lunatics in Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, he got a round of applause.